Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Gossip Star Vibe, because what you're about to discover isn't just shocking, it's absolutely sinister. What if I told you that Remy Ma, hailed as the queen of resilience, had masterminded the biggest scam in hip-hop history? What if I revealed that her devastating ICU emergency, the emotional hospital visits, the desperate prayers, the endless hashtags, was nothing but a fabrication? That's right. Brace yourself, because anonymous insiders are now exposing a scheme so wild, it feels ripped straight from a bad Lifetime movie. Was Remy truly battling for her life, or battling for Papoose's love? According to leaked recordings, confidential nurse confessions, and some oddly timed social media activity, Remy Ma might have staged her entire health crisis just to manipulate Papoose into loving her again. Who needs Cupid when you've got a fake IV drip and a rented hospital suite, right? But don't worry, we're unpacking every chaotic detail you weren't meant to hear. And believe me, after this, you'll never look at ICU selfies the same way again. Let's jump straight into the madness. When the news first broke that Remy Ma had been admitted to the ICU, the hip-hop community practically froze. Tears, prayers, hashtags, it was like witnessing a global emotional breakdown in real time. Pray for Remy started trending. Celebrities shared tearful selfies. Fans organized candlelight vigils. Even people who barely knew who Remy was began tweeting as if they had lost a family member. But behind those hospital curtains, behind the oxygen masks, the heart monitors, and the imaginary sad music playing in everyone's heads, there wasn't any real tragedy. There was a mastermind plotting, and her name was Remy Ma. While the world was mourning, Remy Ma was allegedly laughing and scheming, because based on leaked text messages, hidden security footage, and a suspiciously talkative hospital insider nicknamed Nurse T, this so-called medical emergency was less about misfortune and more about an Oscar-worthy act. So what's the real story? Buckle up, because it goes deeper than just a fake IV drip. Sources close to the Bronx rapper say that after her marriage with Papoose began unraveling, with public arguments, cheating rumors, and alleged secret hookups, Remy became desperate to win him back. Desperate to remind him why he once called her his queen. Desperate enough to fake a medical crisis. But why stage an ICU emergency? Why not just write a heartfelt letter or post a sappy message online? Because to Remy, only a brush with death could break through Papoose's anger. Only the sight of her at death's door could crush his pride and bring him running back. And for a while, it worked. Papoose was photographed rushing into the hospital, eyes puffy from crying. He canceled performances, skipped appearances, and spent nights sleeping beside her bed. He even posted emotional tributes, calling Remy his forever love and asking fans for their prayers. It was top-tier manipulation. But then, cracks started to appear. A nurse, known only as T, reportedly noticed some odd things, like how Remy's heart monitor stayed beeping, even when it wasn't plugged in, or how she'd adjust her oxygen mask when no one was around, or how her strict visiting hours conveniently disappeared whenever paparazzi showed up. Then came the breaking point. Nurse T allegedly overheard Remy laughing. Yes, laughing. On a secret call saying, "Girl, he's falling for it. I told you, men are so simple. You can't make this stuff up." Words started getting around. Whispers turned into rumors. Security footage captured Remy sitting up, texting furiously, only to flop back down and pretend to be weak whenever Papoose entered. And then, the most damning evidence of all, a hospital bill. The ICU room, it wasn't assigned by a doctor. It wasn't needed for medical reasons. It was rented, like a VIP suite at a luxury hotel. Insiders claim Remy paid cash for a simulation room, typically used to train medical students. Meaning, no real machines, no actual emergencies. Just props, flashing lights, and some pretty bad acting. And who paid for it? A shell company linked to Remy's business manager. Coincidence? Highly unlikely. While Papoose was pleading with doctors to do everything they could, all they really had to do was reset the smoke machine and fluff the pillows. Welcome to Remy Ma's ICU Love Trap 101. And believe me, the deeper you dig, the worse it gets. Because just when you think it couldn't possibly get any worse, there's another twist ready to punch you right in the face. As whispers grew into full-blown outcries, the real chaos was just beginning to unfold. Because while some fans were still clutching their pearls and typing prayers up for Remy under every post, others started asking the tough questions. Why was there never an official update from any medical personnel? Why were the hospital visitor logs mysteriously erased? And why did Remy's makeup look freshly applied in every ICU photo? Then came the leaks. And wow, were they explosive! First surfaced the audio recordings, supposedly captured by a night shift nurse who couldn't stay silent any longer. In the recordings, you can clearly hear Remy joking with her friends. "Y'all, I got Pap crying like a baby. Mission almost complete." And "wait till he brings me that new chain I asked for. Being sick is a full-time job." Yeah, just when you thought it couldn't be any more shameless, Remy basically turned ICU fraud into a business opportunity. But that wasn't the worst of it. Leaked internal hospital documents revealed that staff had voiced concerns about the celebrity patient, noting details like no irregularities in Remy's vital signs, no signs of trauma, infection, or heart problems, requests from Remy's team to stage emergency moments for publicity. Yes, you heard that correctly. Her team reportedly asked for staged emergencies. One memo even stated, "Patient's entourage requested a CPR simulation for social media promotion. Request denied." Meanwhile, fans who once idolized Remy started turning their backs. Twitter exploded, Instagram went wild, TikTok was absolutely on fire. Hashtags like Remy scam, ICU gate, and prayers for what started trending within hours. One TikTok user shared a side-by-side comparison of actual ICU patients versus Remy's photos, highlighting inconsistencies like her perfect eyelashes, freshly manicured nails, and the noticeable absence of IV bruises. The video pulled in 12 million views in just one day. Public personalities weighed in too. Charlemagne the God mocked her on The Breakfast Club, saying, "Remy Ma didn't need a miracle, she needed an Oscar." While Joe Budden laughed on his podcast and said, "At this point, just hand her a BET award for Best Fictional Drama." Even 50 Cent, never one to pass up a trolling chance, posted a meme of Remy lying in a hospital bed with the caption, "When you love drama more than oxygen." But it wasn't just social media heat Remy had to face. Anonymous insiders, reportedly from the hospital administration, began murmuring about possible criminal investigations. Because here's the thing, faking a medical emergency isn't just messy, it's against the law. Authorities were reportedly starting to look into it. Was there any insurance fraud? Were fake treatments billed? Were hospital resources abused? Did her fake emergency prevent real patients from accessing ICU care? And if you thought Remy's problems stopped there, think again. Papoose, the man she supposedly did all this to win back, was beginning to connect the dots. He stopped sharing updates. He stopped visiting the hospital. Insiders claim he even started consulting with lawyers to review recent happenings. The fairy tale reunion Remy had staked everything on, collapsing quickly. And the fans weren't offering any forgiveness either. The betrayal hit differently. One fan wrote, "I prayed for you. I cried for you. You turned your hospital bed into a movie set. I'm done." Another commented, "You faked death for clout? Nah, sis, you need therapy and Jesus." And a viral meme captured the mood perfectly. A photo of a hospital bed with the caption, "New season of Power looking realistic." Because you know 50 Cent's drama series couldn't have written this any better if they tried. Meanwhile, YouTube detectives were having a blast, dissecting every photo, every live stream, every inconsistency, complete with slow-motion zoom-ins and CSI-style breakdowns. The final judgment? This wasn't just a bad publicity move. This was a career suicide mission. And just when the flames were burning their brightest, just when everyone thought it couldn't get any more embarrassing for Remy Ma, a second hospital insider stepped forward, and they didn't just release documents or hidden recordings. They leaked the contracts. The actual paperwork proving that Remy's ICU stay was planned, weeks before she ever collapsed publicly. Dates, times, payment confirmations, even scripts instructing hospital staff on what to say if the media arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, this wasn't an emergency. This was a business arrangement. The internet had already canceled her. The memes had already buried her career 6 feet deep. But Remy Ma's real issues, oh honey, they were just getting started. Because once those leaked contracts hit social media, it wasn't just furious fans she had to worry about. It was attorneys. It was government agencies. It was federal investigators watching her like she tried to forge her way into a billionaire's will. According to anonymous sources, and some suspiciously, accidentally leaked emails, several government agencies were now involved, including the Department of Health State Insurance Fraud investigators, even the FBI's Public Corruption Task Force. Yeah, that's correct. Not only did Remy Ma fake a critical emergency, she allegedly committed insurance fraud along the way. Because remember those hospital rooms? Even though she paid privately for the simulation room, insiders claim that some real medical charges were submitted through insurance for treatments that never happened. One investigator, who spoke under anonymity of course, summed it up like this: "This isn't just unethical. This is classic insurance fraud, punishable by massive fines and even prison time." Oof. From Queen of Hip Hop to Queen of Cell Block D in one reckless scam. And if you think the hip hop community, usually quick to defend their own, rallied around her, think again. Papoose? Gone. Sources report he quietly moved out of their shared residence just 2 days after the leak surfaced. Even worse, he allegedly filed for legal separation and is now seeking full custody of their youngest child, citing emotional endangerment and reckless public conduct. In court documents that leaked faster than gossip in a salon, Papoose's attorneys argued that Remy's calculated deception created an atmosphere unsafe for emotional growth. Translation? She didn't just lose Papoose, she put everything at risk. Friends, distancing themselves, business partners, quietly pulling away, sponsorships, vanished like smoke. In a leaked email from a major clothing company that had been negotiating a partnership with her, a representative wrote, "We cannot associate ourselves with individuals involved in public deception controversies." Harsh, ruthless, but honestly, well-deserved. Meanwhile, Remy tried to patch things up. Oh, you knew it was coming. First came the exclusive interview attempt, a desperate sit-down with a second-rate gossip outlet where she shed crocodile tears and blamed it all on miscommunication. According to her, she was genuinely ill, even though no actual diagnosis was ever presented. The rented hospital room was for privacy, not fraud supposedly, and the leaked phone recordings? Taken out of context. Sure, Jan. Public response? 2 words. Too late. The comment section roasted her harder than a Thanksgiving turkey. "This woman faked death for attention. Girl, bye." ICU? More like I see you lying. Sis, you should plan a real funeral because your career's dead. TikTokers started posting parody videos, acting out fake ICU stunts, dubbing it the Number Remy Challenge. People showed up wearing hospital gowns at parties, mocking her. A Netflix spoof movie called Emergency Room: The Remix started trending. Yeah, it was that bad. And just when it looked like she might scrape together a little sympathy, one final nail slammed into the coffin. An insurance company filed a formal lawsuit. That's right, a full-on civil case accusing Remy Ma of fraudulent activities, misleading actions, malicious behavior. They're demanding over $2 million in damages for false medical claims, wasted healthcare resources, and brand harm. One lawyer representing the insurance company said during a press conference, "This isn't just about one individual lying. It's about compromising the integrity of an entire healthcare system." In plain words, they're ready to make an example out of her. Now, rumors are swirling that federal prosecutors are quietly preparing criminal charges. And if found guilty, Remy could be looking at a $250,000 fine for each fraudulent claim, up to a decade behind bars, permanent loss of insurance eligibility, from rap battles to court fights. And spoiler alert, the court battles hit way harder. Meanwhile, fans are still tuned in, but now it feels more like watching a slow-motion car wreck you can't turn away from. Once celebrated for her comeback journey, from prison bars to platinum records, Remy Ma is now the cautionary tale for how quickly loyalty, legacy, and love can be destroyed by one reckless, desperate act. And Papoose, last anyone heard, he's thriving, traveling, starting a mentorship program, posting quotes like, "Never be so loyal that you betray yourself." Yeah, clear shots fired. In the end, Remy Ma didn't just fake a crisis. She faked herself out of everything she had worked for: love, trust, respect, in the worst and most public way possible. No doctor could save her from this. No prayer chain could repair this damage, and no staged hospital photoshoot will ever restore her credibility. Ladies and gentlemen, the ICU stunt was jaw-dropping, but the aftermath? It's a full-on career funeral. And believe me, this story isn't over yet, because when federal agents come knocking, when lawsuits pile higher than hospital invoices, when the full truth spills across national headlines, you'll remember exactly where you were when Remy Ma went from lean back to fall down flat. And there you have it, folks. The scandal that turned hip-hop upside down and demolished what was left of Remy Ma's reputation. From ICU beds to court summons, from fake tears to million-dollar lawsuits, this wasn't just a fall from grace. It was a complete nosedive into oblivion. But now the real question is, can Remy Ma ever claw her way back from this level of betrayal? Can Papoose ever forgive a heart that faked being shattered just to hold on to him? Or is this truly the final chapter in what was supposed to be a story about loyalty? I want to hear your thoughts, because believe me, this discussion is just heating up. Drop your opinion in the comments. Was Remy Ma desperate or downright dangerous? Is Papoose better off moving on for good? And most importantly, would you ever be able to forgive a stunt like this? Hit that like button if you're as stunned as we are. Subscribe to Gossip Star Vibe for more breaking celebrity bombshells. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, because in the world of fame and deception, the next scandal is always just one heartbeat away. Stay tuned, because this drama, it's far from over.